Hi, good morning, children. Let me think you are all fine. Okay. You may know which are the four Vedas of Hinduism, and in the last chapter we were going deeply about the first Veda or early Vedic period. Okay. Can you tell me which are the four Vedas of Hinduism? Yes. Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharvaveda. Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda. These are the four Vedas of Hinduism. And in the last lesson, we were discussing about the first Vedic period, that is Rigvedic period. In other words, you can call that period as early Vedic period. This lesson is the continuation of early Vedic period, means moving from early Vedic period to the later Vedic period. Later Vedic period means the other three Vedic periods, which are there: Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda. Yes, in the later Vedic period, that means the Hindus started going through or following the path of these three Vedas: Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda. This period is called the later Vedic period. What was the main revolutionary changes that the historians could see in this age? The changes are the emergence of kings and naturally the emergence of kingdoms and early republic. These are the changes. You know that in early Vedic period or Rigvedic period there was no courts, no palaces were there, not there. Kings were not there. But when we are moving from early Vedic period, means from 3500 onwards, after centuries passed, there emerged certain kings, and naturally, or kings give way to kingdoms, and there arised or there emerged certain early republican countries or kingdoms also. In which period? Samavedic period, Yajurvedic period and Atharvavedic period. Kings, kingdoms and early republic. You know that kings are rulers. How were the system of election prevailed in that period? Which period? Later Vedic period. What was the system of election of king? How were these kings were elected? Actually, nowadays how we are electing our rulers? Yes, through a general election or democratic election. But what was the system of election that prevailed in in later Vedic period? This election was done by a peculiar type of yajna. You might have heard of yajna, yaga. Yes, this yaga, for which the kings kings wanted to show their power, to affirm, to assure their power, is called Ashwamedha Yaga. This is very important term. Listen, Ashwamedha Yaga. You might have heard of this word Ashwam. What is the meaning Ashwam? Yes, it is horse. Ashwamedha Yaga is a sacrifice, is a ritual actually meant for electing the king. Electing the king. This yaga is called what? Ashwamedha Yaga. Then let's discuss what is meant by Ashwamedha Yaga. Ashwamedha Yaga, is a ritual, is a sacrifice by making use of a peculiar animal horse. So this can be called again a horse sacrifice. And what is the ritual? Let's go through that area. Yes, what type of ritual is called Ashwamedha Yaga? You know, kings were already there. They want to show their power. They want to affirm their power. They wanted to ensure their power. For ensuring their power, to show their power, they were conducting which yaga? Ashwamedha Yaga. What is that? Let's go to that area. In Ashwamedha Yaga, an ashwam was used. What is the meaning of ashwam? Yes, a horse. A horse will be let free when we are freeing this horse, what will happen? It will be wandering, you know. Okay. In Ashwamedha Yaga, a horse will be let free by a king. A horse will be let free by a king, and this free horse will naturally enter into the next country, next kingdom. Horse is led to the next kingdom, but when it is found to be free, it may be wandering through that area. Then what will happen to that next country, adjacent kingdom? They will catch hold of him, no? Yes, otherwise they will let the horse be free in the kingdom. So, when the ashram or the horse is let free to wander through the neighboring country, in case the neighboring kingdom ruler or king will catch hold of him, that means that kingdom is ready to fight with this country. This country means from which country the horse is being sent to the next country. From one kingdom, the king will let a horse to wander freely to the neighboring kingdom. If the neighboring country ruler or king will catch hold of this horse, why this horse from our neighboring countries enter into our area, they will fight. So when they are catching hold of this horse, when the neighboring kingdom or the rulers or the kings are catching hold of this horse, that means that neighboring king is not ready to accept the power of this neighboring king. Which neighboring king? From where this horse is let free. But there is another option. In case the neighboring king is not ready to catch hold of this horse, that means in case the neighboring king is allowing this horse to wander throughout his country, throughout his area, throughout his kingdom, that means that king is ready to accept the power of this kingdom. This king, which kingdom or which king? From where the horse is let free. Okay, so to ensure the power, this horse is let free to the leading freely to the next country. In the next country, when the horse is not allowed to wander, that means they are ready to conduct a battle or they are ready to fight. In case the horse is let free because that king is afraid of this powerful king. That means we will not be disturbing you, we will be giving a tribute to you, like that. Many promises will be there. That means that kingdom or king is accepting the power of the former kingdom. This type of a sacrifice, this type of a ritual of election, this is an election. What type of election? Yes, that means to affirm, to make sure that this king is very powerful. This type of election is conducted through what? Ashwamedha Yaga. Let me think, it's clear for you. Yes, a horse is let free to a neighboring land. In the neighboring land, when the horse is not allowed to wander, that means they are ready to fight with this kingdom. If they are leaving this horse to wander freely, that means they are ready to surrender their kingdom before the foot of this former kingdom. That is called Ashwamedha Yaga. This Ashwamedha Yaga was conducted by Rajas. Raja means kings. Conducted by Rajas for what? For ensuring their power. That was the type of election in later Vedic period. Next area is, at that time, the priests of Hinduism. Priests, Yes, priests of Hinduism started dividing the society into 4 classes. This division of the society into 4 classes is termed as Varna system. What system? Varna system. So Varna system is a system in which the society was divided into 4 classes by whom? By the priests. Which are the 4 classes? Which are the 4 sections of the people in later Vedic period under Hindu religion? Which are they? You might have heard of these 4 classes. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Listen, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. These were the 4 classes of the people. How can we identify them? Brahmanas were assigned the duty of learning Veda and teaching Veda. Learning Veda and teaching Veda to the children, to the students. That higher class of people is called Brahmanas. Just below Brahmanas there were Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas was a powerful group of the society who were assigned the duty of conducting war or participating in war. That is the second section of the people. These sections were also categorized in this upper section of the society. So which were the 2 upper sections of society under Varna system? By priest. Priests were dividing the society into 4 classes. The upper classes were Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Brahmanas were performing the duty of teaching and learning Veda, and Kshatriyas were performing the duty of handling war or conducting war or leading war. And the third section is Vaishyas. Who were the people under this category? Vaishyas were actually these people, common people, including merchants. You know merchants, businessmen. Yes. Next traders. Next craft person. Then farmers, herders, artisans, etc. All these middle class people are called what? Vaishyas. So who are Vaishyas? Vaishyas were the third section of the people, third class of the people under Hindu religion's system of Varna system, who were assigned the duty of farmers, businessmen, herders, gatherers, craftsperson, artisans, traders, etc. These section of the people are called what? Vaishyas. Then comes the last section of the people, last category of the people, last class of the people. They are called Shudras. Actually, Shudras were low people, base-born people, low class people. Means they were slaves. You might have heard of this word earlier also. Okay, slaves. Slave class people is called what? Shudras. So can you tell me which were the 4 classes of the people under Varna system followed by later Vedic period, and this classification was done not by the religion Hinduism but by these priests. Which are the classes? Brahmanas and Kshatriyas as higher class, Vaishyas and Shudras as lower class. Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, higher class people, Vaishyas and Shudras, lower class people. These were the 4 sections of the people. Now let's think of Janapada and Mahajanapada in this lesson. Are you ready? Okay. Janapada. What is Jana? You might have heard of this last lesson. Jana means common people. Janapada means where Jana is living, that area is called Janapada. Then what is Mahajanapada? If the Janapada is found to be a vast kingdom, a wide kingdom, a big kingdom, a large kingdom, then we can call this kingdom as a Mahajanapada. Actually, Janapada is the kingdom itself. Okay, when these Janapadas are found to be Mahajanapadas, it should be a vast kingdom. Then how can we identify the difference between Janapada and Mahajanapada? You can clearly note one thing, that which one will be bigger, which one will be larger or wide or vast Mahajanapada. There are 3 conditions. There are 3 conditions for a Mahajanapada, for a Janapada to become a Mahajanapada. These which are the 3 conditions? Number 1, it should be in Mahajanapada we could see fortified cities. What's the meaning of fortified cities? You know, Yes, fortified cities means cities surrounded by huge and thick walls. That's called fortified cities. Next condition is a Mahajanapada will have a capital city. Mahajanapada will have capital city. Second condition. Third condition is that in a Mahajanapada there will be a huge standing army, a well-arranged soldier class, fighters class. These are the three conditions for becoming a Janapada into a Mahajanapada. Which are they? Large standing army, capital city and fortified city. Fortified city, large standing army and capital city. Then let's discuss which were the Mahajanapadas that are seen at that time. They are Vajji number 1, Magadha number 2. Vajji and Magadha, these were Mahajanapadas which were situating in Bihar. Vajji and Magadha, olden names, they are situating in present-day Bihar. Then comes Gandhara. Gandhara is another Mahajanapada which was situating in the present-day Pakistan. Then another one is Avanti. Avanti was situating in Madhya Pradesh, that is MP. Avanti in Madhya Pradesh, and Panchala and Kosala were places where Mahajanapadas situated in Uttar Pradesh, UP. Can we conclude? Vajji and Magadha in Bihar, Gandhara in Pakistan. Then what is there in Madhya Pradesh? Yes, Avanti in Madhya Pradesh and Panchala and Kosala. 2L2 Lala. Yes, Panchala and Kosala in Uttar Pradesh. These are the examples of Mahajanapada. Got it? Now, because we can conclude today's lesson, later Vedic period is the period of later three Vedas, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda. There emerged certain kingdoms. King's kingdom means Janapadas were transforming or converting into Mahajanapadas. And Ashwamedha Yaga is a yaga conducted by the ruler to show his power by letting a horse free to the neighboring land. And the Varna system were followed or practiced by the priests. Four Varnas were Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, upper class, Vaishyas and Shudras, lower class. And what are the conditions needed for a Janapada to become or to convert into a Mahajanapada? That is, three conditions are there. One is they should have a capital city. Second one, they should keep a large, well-arranged army or well-set-up army. Third one, it is there may be cities surrounded by forts or fortified cities. Then which are the examples of Mahajanapada? Vajji, Magadha, Gandhara, Avanti, Kosala, Panchala, etc. These are the examples. Let me think all these areas are clear for you. Thanks so much. Goodbye.